Last episode I shipped this agent into production and it ran dark with no way to see what it was actually doing while it worked. Then one ticket came back and the latency chart showed an ugly bar, 70 seconds from start to finish. 70 seconds, and if you had asked me why, I would have shrugged, because all the log told me was that it finished. So here is the real question: when a run goes slow, how do you actually find out where the time went? I'm going to show you the trace of that ticket, because it told me something about this agent I had completely backwards. Welcome back. Observability answers one simple question. Once a run finishes, can you see exactly what happened inside it? Not just whether the run succeeded, but where the time and the money went. And here is the part nobody tells you. You probably already have most of the data you need. Since episode 4, every single run this agent makes has written itself out as a structured record. That record holds a start time, a duration, every timestamped tool call, the tokens, the cost, and a few flags. We've been sitting on that data the whole course and we just never drew it as a picture. So here is the plan: build that picture and read one real slow run through it. Then we'll land on the handful of signals worth waking someone up for. First principle, and it's simpler than it sounds. A trace is just spans laid out on a clock. A span is one unit of work with a start time and an end time. It can be almost anything. A single tool call, one turn of the model thinking, or a subagent's entire life. Line up every span on a timeline. And what you get is called a waterfall because the bars cascade down the page. A long bar shows where the time went, and a bar nested inside another shows one thing calling another. The key relationship is parent and child. When the main agent delegates a job, the sub-agents work nests right underneath that delegate span. That's what lets you see at a glance that the messy digging happened inside the investigator and how long it took. That's the whole idea, and in a few minutes I'll point one at a real run. Second principle, logs and alerts are not the same thing, and mixing them up is why on-call gets miserable. Start with logs. One structured record per run, saved as data, not print statements. Because it's structured, you can ask questions later, like which runs cost over $1 or which ones escalated to a human. Alerts are different, and you page on a specific signal, not just because a run happened. And this agent has exactly 3 signals worth waking someone up for. The budget ceiling tripped, the agent escalated to a human, or a run failed in a way it couldn't recover from. That's the whole list, and it stays that short on purpose. Everything else lives as a trace you pull up on demand, the moment one of those signals fires. So the rule is simple: alert on the exceptions and trace to answer the questions. Here is the record we already write, and I want you to notice one specific line in it. It's the tool calls array, and the part that matters is that each call carries the exact moment it happened. That single timestamp is the only thing that turns a flat list of calls into a real waterfall, and the view itself turns out to be almost nothing. Subtract the run's start time from each event's timestamp, and what's left is that event's offset on the timeline. There's no new library here and no vendor to add. This data was sitting right there the whole time. So let me point this at the real ticket, the one that took 70 seconds. This is the real trace of that ticket, and I want you to watch it fill in from left to right, exactly as it happened. First, the main agent reads the customer's memory around 4 seconds in. By 10 seconds, it hands the job to a helper agent, the investigator, nested right underneath it. Inside that helper, 3 account lookups run one after another, and all 3 are finished by about 19 seconds. Then look at the gap that follows, because this is the part that surprised me. From 19 seconds all the way out to 70, the agent calls no tool at all. 51 seconds of nothing but the model generating text, the investigator writing its findings, then the agent composing the reply. Here's what I had completely backwards, and I'll say it plainly. I assumed a slow ticket meant too many tool calls piling up. The trace says the exact opposite of what I assumed. The tools only took 19 seconds, it was the model's own thinking and writing that took 51. And if I'd tried to speed this up by trimming tool calls, I would have optimized exactly the wrong half. You can't reason your way to that at your desk, you have to see it laid out on a clock. Two more things come free once every run is a structured record, and the first is replay. Because each run is saved as real data, you can rerun the grader over it later. That's not new, it's exactly what our eval harness has been doing this whole course. Observability and evals are the same records, just read two different ways. The second free thing is the signal count across the whole test suite. Unrecoverable errors 0. Budget ceiling trips 0. Escalations sit at about 4 in 10, which is the agent correctly handing a hard case to a human, not a failure. None of those fired this run, but when one does, the trace is already saved and waiting. And that's the real difference, saying it was slow versus here's the exact span that was slow. One of those is a shrug, the other is a fix. So let's bring it all together. A trace is just spans laid out on a clock, and the SDK already hands you the timestamps to build one. Log every run as one structured record instead of scattered print statements, so you can ask real questions whenever you need to. And alert a human on exactly 3 signals: the budget ceiling tripping, an escalation, or an unrecoverable error. Everything else stays as a trace you pull up on demand the moment one of those 3 actually fires. Now remember the question I opened with: when a run goes slow, how do you find out where the time went? The 70-second ticket gave me the honest answer. Your gut feeling about where the time goes is probably wrong. I was sure it was the tool calls, and the trace proved that assumption wrong. The tools took 19 seconds. The model's own thinking and writing took the other 51. A trace settles that argument in one glance. No guessing required. And replay comes free with all of this, because a structured run is the exact same record your evals already read. Next episode, we put all of this to work on something that actually breaks in this build. I'll walk you through fixing it the way you'd handle it on any on-call shift. Alert, trace, root cause, fix. See you there.